Welcome to WrenchWay Weekly, the show where we talk about the industry's hot topics, highlight the voice of technician, and educate shops and dealerships on how to improve the industry. If you haven't had a chance yet, please go to our YouTube page for WrenchWay, subscribe to our channel, and get the latest and greatest episodes of WrenchWay Weekly and some other great content that we've got out there. We'd love to hear your comments. We'd love to hear what you think of WrenchWay and WrenchWay Weekly, and really any type of conversation or topic that you'd like us to go into. Please feel free to comment out there. We'd love to dive into those. The topic for this week is one that is near and dear to my heart, which is, in high school, did your guidance counselors or teachers support your decision to enter into a technician program after graduation? We gave you 4 different ways to answer this, one being a simple yes, 2 being a simple no, and then also we had maybe a not available or unsure category. So we had a total of 4 answers. It really broke down into maybe more even than I thought it would, right? 35% of respondents said no, they didn't get that support from their high school level. 32% said that yes, they did. And we had some cool answers there as to some people that did have some really, really good support throughout high school, which I thought was really cool. We had about 23% say not available. They didn't really remember what it was all about. And then 10% were unsure. Most of the unsure comments came from people that had been out of school for a really, really long time, right? They couldn't remember back to their conversations with guidance counselors to see if there was any way, either positive or negative, that they kind of steered them. My personal experience was not all that great, right? And I would definitely answer it with the 35% that said no. My guidance counselor in high school, as soon as we kind of pointed out that, you know what, I'm probably not going to go the 4-year route, I'm going to go to a tech school to learn how to work on cars, almost felt like you kind of just got pushed to the side at that point, right? And it was really almost demeaning that here's something that I grew up in, I'm very passionate about, I've elected to go into a trade school, and it's almost like I got kind of pushed off into the lost cause pile, right? People that probably aren't going to make it, or they assume aren't going to make it, yet really kind of turn into something. And the fun part for me about this, and something that we're really trying to provide awareness to and really hopefully work with high schools on, is showing and highlighting all of the opportunity that's not only in our industry, but in the trades in general, right? I think there's a ton of opportunity in our industry for those that want it, for those that want to put in the work, that want to really grow. The opportunities are endless. And I look at other trades as well. I've got a really good friend of mine that is a very successful electrician, makes a great living, and had a similar experience to me, but he decided to go to a 4-year school. And so when he went to that 4-year school, he started and went for his freshman year and really thought, hey, you know what? This isn't what I want. This really isn't something that I'm passionate about. And so elected to leave, go to a journeyman's program, and has lived a really, really successful life ever since. I see a lot of entrepreneurs that come out of the trades, from somebody like my dad, right, who started off in really kind of farming, but then ended up going into starting his own shop, and very successful shop that's been around for a long time. I see that all over the place. And so I think my frustration with guidance counselors stems from the fact that there is some type of preconceived thought that if you're going to the trades, or you're going to work if you're going to go to an automotive or diesel program, or you're going to go work on tractors, whatever it might be, the fact that there's any type of leaning toward this is a bad thing or a negative thought tells me that we still have a long way to go with making that paradigm shift. And a lot of the stuff that we talk about, a lot of the content that we talk about, is really trying to improve the industry as a whole, right? We want to make it really, really attractive to that 7th or 8th grader, or maybe that junior in high school that doesn't know where they're going, but they're pretty well mechanically inclined. We want to give them that option. And until we as a community and as an industry get into our local schools and start talking to them so they know who we are, nothing's going to change, right? They're still going to get probably graded based on how many people they send to a four-year school, which means that as a guidance counselor, my priority is most likely going to be to try and get as many people into a four-year school as I can. And to me, if it's not the right fit for somebody, we need to understand that up front. Now, our job as an industry, and this isn't just a WrenchWay or a Find a Wrench thing, this is all of you that are out there, right? Is my ask is for you to get involved with your schools in one way or another. And that could be your tech schools, that could be your local high schools. Really get in front of them and show them the opportunities that are out there. Get them exposed to your shop. Maybe do if you work with that local tech ed instructor, and set up a yearly tour of the shop and really get people exposed to show them that it's not quite the same industry that it was 20 years ago, right? Or even 10, or maybe even 5 years ago. There's less of that grease monkey mentality and a lot more diagnostics and a lot of cool stuff to play with, a lot of cool toys to play with, right? But until we get in front of those instructors and actually educate them, I think you're always going to fight that stigma that we're just a bunch of grease monkeys. On top of that, I think the education of parents as well, and really when little Jimmy goes to a four-year school, the parent is really proud. But then if that little Jimmy decides that maybe that four-year school isn't for him, and that he goes to a tech school, we've got to make that a good thing, right? We can't make that a negative thing in the community. Wherever. But again, it takes education, and it takes all of us educating the parents, the teachers, the guidance counselors, and really bridging that gap between how we see the industry and how they see the industry. And it takes a proactive effort. This isn't something that's going to happen overnight, but by you gaining a local relationship with your school and your educators, you can make a huge impact, more than you think. And I think from the shop level, you don't see the impact right away, which can be it can be frustrating, but if you stick with it, you definitely start to see that. And we've got some shops that we work with that do an excellent job with that. Just be intentional about it. It's huge. It is huge, huge, huge for not only your shop, but for the industry in general. A couple great comments that we had with a few individuals, some of our WrenchWay Insiders. We had a great auto tech program in high school. Our vocational tech counselors really worked at ensuring our success. To me, the fact that they had vocational tech counselors is awesome. Somebody that can really speak to experience and show them the industries and give them some real life feedback. And then on the opposite side of that, we had quite a few that said never really had a relationship with their guidance counselor. And now that's not totally uncommon. I mean, it's not like you're going to go be best friends with your guidance counselor, but they're there as a resource for you, right? As a student, their job is to help get you pointed in the right direction. If they're not doing that, I think you need to look at other avenues, whether it's mentorship or a tech ed teacher or somebody that understands the industry a little bit more. So again, that's where we can step in, hopefully educate these schools and the parents to help maybe shift some of that have a paradigm shift in general, where we're not just kind of pushing the kids that aren't living up to academic expectations to the trades. So as we talk about every week, we give away a prize for those WrenchWay Insiders that give us the insight and give us the feedback that we can then turn into content to help educate shops and even educate schools and really kind of break up some of these silos that we see in the industry. If you gave feedback through LinkedIn this week, thank you for that. It's appreciated as always. We really, really do appreciate that. On the other side of that, if you want to try and win a prize, hop on our WrenchWay Insiders app. It is really, really cool. It's growing extremely fast. And I think as people really start to see how real this is, it's really gaining some steam. And hopefully you guys are enjoying it. It's a fun way for us to get that feedback and then be able to turn that into good, tangible data. The giveaway for this week was a $100 Amazon gift card, and the winner was Steve Williams with a high score of 37 on our high or low game. Of course, if you're not familiar with that, the higher lower game is basically our way of incentivizing you, right? So by answering questions, you get points that you can then use to play the game. And if you're like Steve here, who got that high score, you get that $100 to be able to spend. Hopefully you get some Christmas shopping done, or hopefully you treat yourself to something. But his high score was 37. If you can go on and beat that, you'll get the $100 Amazon gift card next week. Along with the gift card, Steve had a chance at winning our Queen of Hearts game, which is very, very simple, right? You pick a card. If we flip it over and it's a Queen of Hearts, you win the pot. And the pot keeps growing. It keeps going and going. So he had a shot at $1,100. He unfortunately did not overturn the Queen of Hearts. So that pot continues to gain steam. We're up to $1,200 of real cash that if you win that high-low game, you get your crack at Queen of Hearts and you actually win Queen of Hearts. $1,200 cash going to you. So that's a pretty big incentive. We post the new challenges every week, so head out to WrenchWay Insiders on the WrenchWay Insider app, complete the challenges, get the points, play the games, and hopefully you win. I think this is really, really turning out to be a really cool program. The WrenchWay Insiders app is invite only. So if you want an invite to be able to play the game, to download the app, you can either fill out the form on the WrenchWay website, or you can click on the link in the video below. You can also email us at info@findawrench.com. Actually, I take that back, info@wrenchway.com, and we'll get an invite out to you right away. Once again, if you like what we're doing with WrenchWay Weekly, be sure to subscribe to WrenchWay on YouTube. We're more than happy to hear your comments and really look forward to everything that you have to say. It's really been a pleasure to get these inside comments and really give you guys a platform to be able to give us some anonymous feedback, right? So you're not feeling threatened, or you're not feeling like people are exposed to your data. It's really, really important to us that this remains in-house, and we want to protect everything that you put out there. So thanks again for another great week of responses. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Look forward to talking to you next week.